Today's podcast is brought to you by Bevel. Bevel is the first and only shaving system designed for people with coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin. Get clearer, smoother skin in as little as 4 weeks when you start shaving with your Bevel razor. Go to getbevel.com/Jack to check out their products and support this podcast.
Get ready for combat.
No escaping.
Get ready for combat. Get ready for combat. The Combat Jack Radio Show. Stand up.
Internet, you're now listening to the Combat Jack Show podcast. What's good? What's good, Internets? What's good? Everybody tuning in, for your weekly dose of one of the greatest podcasts ever. You know what I mean? Yo, I just want to say one love and prayers and blessings and a speedy recovery to my brother, dear friend, Mr. Combat Jack, a.k.a. Reggie Osei, who you all may know that, he's battling colon cancer. And, this is just one part of his journey. And, we wish him well. We send him our love. Just to give you guys an update, he's, it's day to day. He's in great spirits. He's always tweeting and he sees everybody. He appreciates the love and, the people who have come by to visit him or send him some well wishes via Twitter, Instagram, or what have you, or on the text. Please continue to do so. Hit up that Combat Jack Show hotline, 347-746-2080. Like I said, he sees, he hears everything. He's out here. He just, he's on a mission right now. You know what I mean? So he's with us, and, he know we got his back. And we just encourage you guys to continue on, Shout out to my guy, Jonathan Mena. Shout out to the entire Loudspeakers Network familia. Shout out to Brother Christopher holding us down on the visuals. And shout out to all the internets, man. Thanks for y'all support. Thank y'all for continuously rocking with us. We do appreciate it. I see everything too, man. I appreciate the love and the encouragement. To be quite honest, it is a difficult time because, when you're accustomed to a routine and then that routine gets broken up for something you can't control. You just gotta either wither or power through that. And that's what we're doing collectively. You know what I'm saying? As the great brother Tax Stone recently tweeted, we don't bend, we don't break, we don't fold. I think he said that.
Something like
in that order. I think so. Yeah. He said something like that. But that's our motto right now. Hashtag combat cancer, hashtag raise the bar. You know what I mean? And we about to close out the year in another month and a half. It's gobble gobble day this week. I don't personally fuck with that Thanksgiving shit because I think it's disrespectful, to be celebrating that type of shit when Native Americans exist on this soil. You know what I mean? So-called North America. You know what I mean? So I try not to get too crazy on Twitter because I know people are sensitive and it's hard to debate with people who don't have the same information that you may have. And some people ain't trying to get taught, that type of thing, but that's a fact. I mean? We shouldn't, I feel like you celebrating that shit, you part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? And but that's a whole nother story. I don't want to take it there. But for those who do celebrate, just be safe in your convictions and drink responsibly. Don't get out here doing no crazy shit. And be respectful, man. It's crazy out here with a lot of these allegations going on. Now it looks like it's these sexual harassment, inappropriate behavior is now being brought to light through allegations. Be careful with your interactions with the opposite sex or the same sex if that's your choosing as well, and to all my sloppy niggas out there, man, like, you gotta clean your shit up because these chicks ain't playing, man. They ain't having it. Like, I got a couple DMs from women talking crazy about rappers right now, like, and I'm just appalled at I'm not surprised. It's just that now it's like it's so unexpected. It's like the random conversations about it, and women are speaking up about it now. So to all my sloppy niggas, man, you got an opportunity to fix that, or bow out, bow out of the whole shit, because they coming, man. And I think it's gonna be a lot more, happening soon with that. But anyway, on a lighter note, you know what I'm saying? One of the things we've always done out and about when we do events or we out in these streets or whatever, we always support, other podcasters and, people who are doing good things for the culture. And tonight I had the pleasure of having these two gentlemen who they are podcasters and they've always showed us mad love. They come to our events. They just show us support on Twitter. They show us support everywhere, man. They just always sharing a kind word, and I appreciate their humility and their humbleness about it. You know what I mean? Like, I get a lot of cats that just be mad aggressive. Yo, son, how I get down with loudspeaker, son? And I'm like, yo, this ain't a record label. But I get it. I totally get it. Part of that is because we are so accessible. You know what I mean? So when people feel that you're accessible, they feel like they got to shoot their shot at all times. But these two gentlemen here, and they got there's other people that's part of their podcast too. We'll get into that. I said, I reached out. I said, why don't y'all come shoot the shit with me? I don't have a guest. Want to switch it up a little bit. Kind of like feature other podcasters in the community. So if y'all expecting the big name, that's coming too. We do that. That's next week and the week after. We do that all day. But sometimes we got to give back. And I felt like this was a good opportunity to do so. You know what I mean? So without further ado, I have these two gentlemen from what's the name of the podcast? I could say it, but
we are a public service announcement.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo.
man.
I've been feeling
Wait. Introduce yourselves first.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
my name is Robbie
Had this
Digital.
nigga go.
Oh, you already know. Oh, man.
All right. No bars. Go ahead.
I am Robbie Digital.
Bronx niggas always got to have bars. Go ahead.
Fact. I am Robbie Digital. Do we give AKAs?
Yeah, go ahead, nigga.
AKA the culture, AKA the emotion, AKA Chief of the Chopped Cheese. I'm here. It feels good. I'm gonna take a moment for the clout real quick.
All right,
Woo.
nigga. All right. Okay.
Whew, go ahead.
And
go
I'm
ahead.
Saul Goodman, also known as the Lion of Bed-Stuy, also known as the Lion-Ass Nigga and Lino Shit. All right. I was going to throw out the whole sign PSA, but you know what? Ellison, sign PSA.
All right.
Yeah, we do this. We're desperate.
and you got a flask in your hand, yes?
Yeah, but no, I do that sober.
What's in that flask?
We're not sponsored by Jameson, but I am drinking Jameson.
Okay. Now I want to say, every time I seen you out and about in these streets or at events and shit, I don't think it's been one time where you haven't been washed.
That's not true.
Like you've been every time I see either you're not washed when I first see you, but at the end of when we're all exiting, you're finished.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And you're like very talky when you get washed too.
I'm very honest.
Like
too.
aggressive. Like,
I can
like
believe
you ready
that.
to like fight.
That's why I was
I'd be
wondering.
Yo, what's up with this dude, man?
I ride for my niggas. I die for my.
But
niggas.
it don't be no issues though. It just be mad peaceful, but you be ready to turn up.
Because it's the message and the mission.
You from Bed-Stuy?
Do or die.
You born and raised?
Absolutely.
You shot anybody before?
What?
What?
I'm a civilian, so I can ask these questions.
I have no idea what. I'm a civilian too.
Nah. You know, I'm just playing with you, man, because you're from Bed-Stuy.
I don't know. Niggas be snitching on
So-
themselves apparently.
Nah, they do that shit religiously.
Hey,
Bronx
I ain't,
niggas.
I ain't snitch on nobody. Yo, if you listen to nigga, I want
Hold
my
on.
money. I ain't playing.
Yo, listen. Brother Christopher is our videographer, photographer. You know, our resident
Seems
visualist.
like the resident gunman.
You gotta calm down, man. You got a Malcolm X hat on.
I know, I'm a hypocrite.
You from the
today.
Bronx.
I'm a hypocrite.
Yo, if you got a problem with somebody, you need to really just text them or give them a phone call.
I know.
Or pull up at their next event.
Oh!
And have no. I'm not. Just have a conversation.
Yeah.
What happens is when you get on these mics, right, and you start saying shit like that, it travels. And then when it travels, people, you know, They run with that shit. They, yo,
damn
you
sure
heard what
do.
son said?
Yeah.
He ready to turn up on you, son. What you gonna do about that?
I mean, but
It's
if he
that
is,
factor.
Yeah.
if he is,
Listen, we need our videographer, right?
Nah,
we need you to be present.
It sounds like he's gonna be okay. It sounds like he's the one.
Nah, look, no,
laying
nah,
out
it's all
the-
look,
the-
it's all
the
jokes
words.
because
You want to arm wrestle?
Nah, I be joking. Like it's really no issue because that's not how he gets down. And
yeah.
I used to.
Why
like,
you bringing that aggression?
I be joking sometimes.
Do they know you joking?
I hope y'all do because if I wanted,
You hope.
I mean,
What if he raise up on you? You ready
but
for
he's
the
not
action?
like that. He's not
Yes,
about that
I
action.
are.
That's what they say until it happens.
He's not about that action. No shots, but he's not about that action. You know, I'm just being.
Yo,
dead
I don't
serious.
sleep on nobody, man.
I'm not trying to sleep on nobody, but at the same time, I was like, all right, I'm gonna be all right from. I'm not really
How
worried.
much money does he owe you?
We won't get into the particulars, but anyway,
Is it
no
a
shots,
couple
brother.
hundreds?
I would say so, maybe more.
Well, you have
know?
a valuation?
You charge interest?
Nah, I'm not like that. I'm not white, but shout out to all of you white people out there charging interest on bullshit.
Look, man, you got to know your worth, man. Sometimes
Nah,
you got to charge a
no,
nigga interest to let him
no,
know.
you
Like,
know
look,
what?
I waited enough time.
Yeah.
This is what it is. I want my money, and I'm giving you interest because you played with me. You thought
trying-
I was soft.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I'm just trying to figure out a way to do that respectfully because I have an issue with contacting people about money, and they're like, "Oh, you wanted money? That's what you had to say."
No, you know what you got to do? This is what white people do. You have to
Sue?
invoice them.
Yes.
Just send them an invoice.
Yeah, that's what you're really
dope,
supposed to do.
Invoice with the terms. Like, yo, you got 15 days.
Yeah.
And then after the 15 days, I don't get my money, I'm adding 15% or whatever percent you choose to put on it.
That's
It's
a fair
simple.
way to do it.
Because once people see the invoice, they're like, oh, shit, damn.
That's also
I got to pay this nigga. Or it's going to be a... Now you acknowledged you expect some type of repayment because you
Yeah.
gave them that invoice.
Yeah, man.
And they got to honor that shit.
I'm gonna be honest. Like my only issue was I just wanted my photos that I took that day for this particular event. I used his memory card so he could edit them and blow them up and all of that. I just wanted to edit those photos. I'm being dead serious. Like I don't give a fuck about money, even though I could use it right now. But I really wanted my photos.
Do you
Like,
charge all of these educated black women that you take photos of on your Instagram?
Do I charge them?
Yes.
Who are these women? Because
Whoever. I'm talking about all of the educated
Nah, for the
sisters.
most part, all my past clients have paid in one way or another. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding partially.
Yo, you're
See?
bugging right now.
You're looking at Terry Richardson right
Not the right time.
Listen,
It's
if
not.
you are a videographer or photographer, please hit up the hotline 347-746-2080 because this nigga, he's trying to take himself down.
I'm not. I just want to make you guys claro on something. I'm not actually a videographer anymore. I retired because certain people don't want to pay me. But it's not. I'm not targeting a homeboy. I'm not targeting him. I'm just saying for the most part, people come up with me with like free ideas, and it's like, my nigga, you gotta at least, you know what I mean, give me something here. I don't,
Do you tell them that on the outset?
I tell them that from the jump. Like, what's the budget? That's my reply to all of the, yo, I got an idea. What's the budget?
Or what if you're in person
In person,
and you're at an event and someone's familiar with your work
yeah,
and they say, yo, man, it'd be dope if you do a shoot for me.
yeah.
What's your reply?
What's the budget?
What's your budget looking like?
It's the same shit.
And then if they give you a number, do you just take that number or you negotiate it?
For the most part, I take it because the number's pretty. It's more than what I was gonna throw out there. So
God, don't do this, man. He's don't put out
Yeah.
the strategy.
yeah, I really don't give a fuck because I got confidence in my skills. So it's like this bitch don't want to work with me. It's cool because I can go all the way to the Nation of Islam. They want to work with me. So shout out to Brother Khalil. Like we
You gotta cut your beard.
I'm not cutting. Look, Brother Khalil, alhamdulillah, all of that.
Yeah.
But we are not. I stopped making slide a long time ago, brother. We ain't doing that.
Nah, I'm not cutting my beard.
The beard can't go nowhere. It's
You
beard
see the
season.
listen, I have not seen in the history of the Nation of Islam
Yeah, a brother with this type
any
of beard.
brother with any type of facial hair outside of a thin ass weird mustache.
Yo, you can't be disrespecting the brothers like that.
No, I'm not disrespecting them. Those are the
Nah,
bros.
that-
That sound kind of disrespectful.
Nah, man, I would never disrespect the Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam is
the nation.
quietly the one thing that's like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say protecting, but
Oh well, they are. 'Cause I talked to one of the brothers, and they actually do a lot of events, hip hop,
They
all black gatherings.
They
They
do.
do security. I didn't know that shit up
the
until
festivals.
Yeah.
Zulu does as well.
Damn. You mentioned his ass
Red,
that
I
night.
ain't gonna mention that.
But you know,
But shout out to the Zulu.
Yeah.
I mean, we from the Bronx, so we ain't really got too many Muslims in the Bronx. We got more Rastafarians, if anything.
Right.
This is very true.
Like, I'm from uptown, so like I grew up. There was like at least 4 Jamaican restaurants next to me, mad beards, mad weed, and that was pretty much about it.
Are you Jamaican?
I'm not, but I feel like working at Ride Playland as a kid, I'm kind of qualified. Though.
I used to work at Ride Playland.
I
Playland?
did.
Dope.
I did, yeah. I was a cashier, and I used to give out pamphlets to all the little kids that would come in and harass me because my shirt didn't fit. So yeah, yeah.
Fuck
So
them
the
niggas.
kids used to
Yeah.
bully you.
They would just be like, "Mommy, who's the fat kid in the red shirt?"
Was it
like,
the whites?
it was the whites. It was the whites, of
I
course.
just didn't call you the
Damn.
fat black kid in the
Oh,
shirt.
no. I'll just tell them they was adopted. You know. That's how you, like to do that. That's how you do that, man.
So-
So all strategic.
So we got the public service announcement podcast.
Say it with your chest.
How long y'all been doing this shit?
Man, wow, doesn't that feel crazy? Someone asking us that?
Oh, we're at episode 49. We're about to record our 50th.
Yeah.
How many years, nigga? Like,
2, nigga. We're bi-weekly.
niggas be like, yo, I'm on my 50th episode. It took them 5 years.
Doesn't
to
that
get.
shit sound a lot more epic, though?
So that's 2
Yeah.
years?
It does.
Yeah, we had
No,
to
it
dress
does.
it up and make it real for
No,
you.
I mean time wise. Like what's the timeline in terms of when you started
we-
it to where you're at now?
we make 2 years in January.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
We started
Thank
at the top of 2016, like
Yes.
the first week.
Yeah.
Or at least it wasn't. I don't know if the first week. It was the first week we got paid, cause that's our schedule.
you. Right.
If we're recording, we got paid the
So
Friday
you can pay
before.
the fee to get the recording done.
Yeah, we invest
With
this
that
is-
podcast.
This is our passion. We came together. This is kind of a brainchild of both digital and mine separately. He definitely wanted a podcast. He wanted to express himself, and I wanted a space to really reinvest in the community. And we came together, our mutual former employment, with our third member, Bones, and he's really the heart of it. I'm kind of the brain, but he kind of is the heart. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for him.
Right.
The research that he did into studios, the push for me and Bones, who are kind of creatives, to really like invest in how the show would carry on, and really kind of keeping us to our time limits. Because if it was up to me and Bones, we'd argue for about 2-3 hours. And we've been doing this bi-weekly, and we're really happy.
Yeah, this is
How'd you guys meet? Like, did y'all know each other before? Or
nah. We met at the employer that we were at. I had.
you don't want to say what the employer is?
Nah, we're good.
Fast food or
Nah. Don't ever play yourself.
no?
We-
I'm asking.
we
Home
was-
Depot. What the fuck?
Nah, we was getting money. We worked at a
You
tech.
from the Bronx? He's from Brooklyn. Where was the job? In Manhattan?
It was
Yo.
in Manhattan. It was at
Okay, I was about to
a
You
technological retailer.
You're gonna keep
Jesus
talking.
Christ.
He gonna get you to snitch on yourself.
Yeah.
And I just stopped. Like King is not about to get me out
Yeah,
here.
I feel like the
the-
lights got brighter a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
The one thing about doing this shit for a certain amount of time, you kind of know how to.
Finesse. Nope.
Manipulate a little
Yeah, a
bit.
little bit, a little bit.
A little bit.
So when did you guys? So at your employer, when did you guys decide? Yo, you know what? I got a story to tell. Like let's form like Voltron and get something happening with this podcast.
Yo, keep it a stack with you. All things considered has to.
For
go.
those who are listening outside of the tri-state area, please explain to us what keeping it a stack is.
Oh, well, keeping the
For
stack.
our ATL brethren that
Yeah,
don't
they
know,
don't really know
they're
that.
like, oh,
Our
well,
audience is
you're-
not this
this
big.
is-
That's why. So we don't
you're-
really have to
yeah.
explain this.
Also,
before.
we're kind of indignant in that we were like, you don't get it, Google it.
Pretty much.
But yeah, keep it. a
So
stack.
just keeping it real, keeping it honest. Like to Saul's point, I have to. He gives credit to me. I give credit to my man Randy, tech and music fan.
Shout
Shout out to him.
no,
man.
wait. Ain't
Shout
no
out to
tech
that
and
brother.
music fan.
You don't
It
take a
is-
piece, man.
It is industry and pussy fan.
Industry and pussy fan.
And you
This
gotta
is
say it just like that.
Yeah.
That's his name.
That's his new name. That's his
He
new name.
changed it.
He hasn't. We did.
No, you can find that. You can
You
find it. in
can't do
Tech
that
and
no
Music
more,
Fan.
man. You can't do that.
Bruh,
No.
bruh.
You can't talk about pussy in the manner that you talked about it 2 weeks ago. Everything prior to 2 weeks,
Well,
way out the window.
That's because you
wait,
can't get
You gotta
signed.
talk
You
about
can-
you gotta
you
talk
can-
about pussy like it's bread.
No, wait.
Like
you
it's
can
like a
talk
loaf.
about it. You just can't talk about specific pussies
Yeah, you can't.
with the owners in the same way.
Says who?
The only
The owners.
I think you got. I think
Yeah.
Fuck them
right.
niggas.
I agree with you. No.
See, that went over your head.
At
You
no,
making us-
underscore.
I know
Christopher.
no,
It
I
did go
caught
over
it.
your head. No, you didn't.
I caught it.
You did.
And I went over your
You
head,
talking
brother.
about them women who actually? Anyway, I'm not going to talk
The
about.
thing is, you
enjoyed
got to
it.
let the women. And there's no women in here right now.
I wish there was a woman here right now.
And that wasn't by this. Well, it just didn't happen tonight.
happen.
But you just got to let women talk about that kind of stuff, and you just be an observant listener.
Yes.
You can't be
Yeah.
the one initiating
Absolutely.
Well, that's because a lot of niggas talk themselves out of pussy all the time. That's really what it
Very
is.
true.
that. I mean, explain.
Um,
Because I had a,
Yes.
I had a,
no.
I had
yes.
a, I had a,
Yes, Rob. Please explain.
please explain. and I want you to explain because I had a, and you know I don't really do this shit, but I had a scenario recently because of everything that's going on. I had to make a decision with a certain interaction with someone of the opposite sex.
and the plot thing.
But before we get to that, I want you to. Yeah,
well,
elaborate.
this all comes from Bones. Shout out to Bones. The meaning that you talk yourselves out of that men talk themselves out of pussy is because we don't listen enough. And the fact that we don't listen and we always try to move in this hunter mentality
Right.
instead of letting things happen. Yes, you should be driving, of course. Like you are leading the experience, you should have a plan, but don't overthink it. And don't always think that the outcome is going to be pussy. That's the problem.
That's
We
a fact.
always lead in with the notion that we're gonna have sex the first time. Let that happen. If she chooses when it's that moment,
It's the build up.
yeah, it's the buildup. If she feels it's the right moment, she's gonna let you know. So that's why I feel like a lot of guys talk themselves out of it. We set all these expectations with women, and then when it doesn't follow through, that's when the bitterness and the angry tweeting through it, all that comes through it, and it's like, that's why you didn't get the pussy in the first place.
That's a fact.
It's a little more intricate than that. I would say that like if your first date, like nobody should go into a first date expecting to get any pussy. If you do, like
No.
you're already fucking up. The idea is when you start to push the envelope, if you take your time with her, if you're really interested in getting to know her, she will initiate. She will let you know.
Isn't it determined about like how, like what's the intent? Is it just to get just to have sex, or are you trying to go somewhere with this young lady or in a relationship?
All right, so for
Because
me,
women know what you up to, regardless whether they partake or not.
well,
They know, oh, this nigga just want to hit. Do I want to do this shit? Nah, I'm gonna just milk this nigga. Or if you got good intentions to be in a relationship, they know that too. So yeah.
So for me personally, because I'm newly single, I know that women have their own expectations.
You got dumped?
Yeah, fuck it. I got dumped.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually, you
like
know what?
the chick that you was with at the she
yeah.
dumped you. Why? What you do? This nigga.
damn, you
Why
really
you
want
had
me
to
to
do
have that
something?
conversation?
We're
Nigga.
on the
I
Combat
was
Jack
at
show, nigga.
yo, this is wild.
Nigga.
We're on the Combat Jack show. Tell the
actually-
story.
So I was actually vulnerable with her. I was battling depression early in the year, and she was no longer attracted to that. That's crazy.
Oh, so she wasn't a ride or die.
Yeah, shit. Fuck. I guess she
Ladies
wasn't.
and gentlemen, we are on a Combat show.
Yo, it's
But
crazy.
But did she?
It
But did
is-
she? But hold on. Did she give you any type of hint or inclination
I knew
that
that
she
there
was a
was
little
a-
suspect?
Up to that point, I thought that I could be completely open with her. So, I was going to do some things,
Right.
and like I was doubting my self-worth as a man, and I was sharing some things with her, and she
That sucks.
just wasn't there for me anymore. But
Did she tell you, yo, I'm not feeling this, or this
you
is
know
too
what?
much for me,
You know
or
what?
what?
She had said something like that, and it's great because me and my mother reconnected, and I was having those honest conversations with her about what I'm going through in this relationship and what I'm going through as a human being, as a black man, and I kind of had that. I talked to her. She talked to my ex, and it was for the best of my situation that I move on, and I am much better for it. I've connected with women that understand me, and appreciate me for who I am, and going back to that point, I have been on dates where I fucked on the first night, but I know that women have their own expectations, and for me, I have to be a lot more clear about what my intentions are. Some women are looking for a relationship. They think that you're going to be the one because of the way that y'all carry conversations, the way y'all have fun and whatnot. And for me, it's best that I be really open about what I'm looking for, and whether it be a good time or if I'm trying to fuck, and they respect that, But I can be attracted to a woman, but I'm confident in who I am, where I don't get desperate for ass, And I think that that's a mistake that a lot of dudes make, and that they show their hand very early in the game, and you turn a woman off. Like if you are genuinely interested in getting to know them, regardless of what could happen physically, you'd be surprised what happens.
That's a fact.
This is true. I mean, there's been situations where I've had women spend the night at my house, and they were like, "Oh, well, you didn't cook me breakfast," and I was like, "Well, we didn't sleep together, so you're not gonna get breakfast. I'm sorry." And like, how could you say that? Hey, I'm almost 30. I'm an adult. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna go the extra mile for certain things. I know what it is, and now you know. And it's up to you to make those decisions. And I feel like the way you carry yourself, a woman will be responsive to that. That's another thing, too. Like, it's all about your character and how you conduct your business and how you conduct your relationships. If you move bad, a woman's going to feel that. If you move well, she's going to feel that. So you have to make those decisions where she'll be able to be more receptive to the decisions that you make.
I'm not going to pretend that was kind of some dirtbag shit that you just said.
I'm not gonna say it.
She spent the night, but you ain't getting no ass, so you ain't cooking breakfast for her.
We went downstairs. We went to the diner. I wasn't cooking it. We got food.
Oh, you got food.
Yeah, we got food.
She expected you to cook for her.
Yes.
Oh, see, she
gotta
got a problem.
relax.
She's the problem. You didn't say that the first time. I apologize.
So
It's all right, bro. It's all right.
So I was gonna reveal something, but I can't.
No, go ahead.
I
Nope,
can't.
nope. Now you got
Wait,
to.
no,
Nope.
you made
You
me.
can't say that.
You made me talk
Yeah,
about.
bro. The
Yeah.
movie just
You
got
made
out.
me talk
I just
about.
realized. I
Be
just
discreet.
realized the sensitivity in the issue, and that if I said that there are some people who are aware of a few things, and I don't want to compromise.
Be
It's
discreet.
nothing bad. It's just the fact that sometimes you can't be too transparent with your personal shit.
This is true.
You know what
No,
I'm
that's
saying?
fucked up. You just got me
and
out here talking about
You see how
my former
You
relationship.
see how you manipulated us?
Yeah, but I know.
Y'all
but it was
so
like,
vulnerable
it was
right now.
We were
No,
super
Okay,
vulnerable.
I'll say this. I'll say this. Like you just said, you said your former relationship, right? So I was in a long relationship for a while or whatever, and that ended summer of 2014, like ended, and it took me a minute to recover from that in terms of just being at a place where I was excited about, doing that again.
doing what? A
Being in a relationship.
Oh, okay.
So my interactions with women were different. And it was like, But then something happened last year, and the excitement came back in terms of like, oh shit, this might be a thing. But in this, I fight with myself in terms of, I think I probably put too much pressure to do or
I know exactly.
word
What
I'm
you're,
looking
I,
for?
Yeah,
I
I
might
see-
know exactly what you're saying. but-
overcompensate for. Now, my past relationship, and I don't want to like talk about that too much. You have two people who are trying to find themselves, and find each other at the same time. If that makes any sense, and it never works that way.
No.
So, and then you're doing your career path. You trying to flourish out here. And remember what you said about your shorty? She wasn't supportive.
Yeah.
She might not have been ready to support you at the time because her growth and development wasn't there yet. And that's the perspective I have now because of my shit. I used to always be like, man, fuck that bitch. Pardon, she's not a bitch. I'm just saying my attitude, right?
Yeah.
But I had to learn. I had to learn and process. Like, yo, maybe she just wasn't there, like where she's at. And then it's unfortunate that we live in a social media age. So a lot of times we see certain shit, and we kind of allow that to dictate our energy because of needs and wants and desires. And I don't know how it affects men, but I see a lot of women that fall for the okie doke all the time because of social media. Amongst themselves, too. They'll see another chick, look like they flourishing, and then they'll desire to do whatever it is that got that person to wherever it seems like they are. And then that's where confusion lies. And that's the part that I concern myself with a lot. Like, yo, I hope the person that I have interest in currently is not going down that path. Not saying she is. I just hope that's not the case. Because when you're in a relationship, the only thing that if it don't work, you can't get that time back. That's how I look at it. You can't get that time. It's gone.
I don't see it as reclaiming time. I just
No, you can't reclaim it.
No, but
I'm just
see
saying
it as it's a part of. It's an investment.
It's
in
like
who
fuck.
you are,
I just wasted fucking time when I could have been over here.
But you know, it's funny that you say that because I just got out of a situationship very similar to that.
Did you?
It's a situation.
Yeah,
She used to live with you.
Did you?
She did. A Jace. A Jace.
Keep it in perspective.
Keep it in perspective. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I think
I don't know. That's the
me and-
PSA talk. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
A jar, a Jace.
That is actually. You know what?
We got to have a Webster dictionary talking to y'all niggas.
No, see, because he's still sayings, and I'm not going to even say
He
where
what?
he got. He's still sayings.
I did.
Oh.
I
That's
swagger
not-
jack that hard.
Yeah,
But I like
which
it.
which I don't understand why it's not that good. It's not a real word.
You know
but-
what? It just fits sometimes.
Look,
So anyway, I was in a similar situation where when we
sucks.
when we started, you know, these paths of wanting to do podcasts, wanting to do media, I was involved with a woman who kind of didn't understand what I was going through and trying to figure that out. And she had the same goals in turn, but she wasn't moving at the same pace that I was moving.
Right.
So for me, it was kind of like splitting the pie down the middle. I think she was 60% invested. I was 40% invested because my attention was at other things like, hey, oh, we should hang out. Nah, I got to go do this. Oh, we should do this. Nah, I got to go to the studio. I got to go to this event. I got to go to that.
Who dumped who?
She definitely dumped me. I can openly say that.
No, I'm just asking because.
But she dumped me because by the time I realized that I actually wanted to be with her, she was already uninterested. She had already put her time in where she was like, all right, I'm over this now.
All right.
Like I was been meeting you halfway, and now you decide to come to the table where everything else was a priority in my life, and she was just there. And then when I started to make her a priority, then it was like, nah, I'm good. So now I'm stuck in that situation where I have to look like, I think the biggest thing with relationships with an end that men don't do, we don't learn from our own mistakes. We don't take time to process what went wrong on our accord to be better for the next
Because
person.
niggas ain't never wrong. Our ego.
Okay, so
Right?
so the
Is that
real
a fair
story-
assessment, Saul?
No, it's not. What
I ain't do
happened was
shit. Fuck it.
what
I
ha-
just get a next chick. That's
what
niggas
happened
do.
was is that I'm actually friends with both of them. Both of them, independently of each other, both came to me like, should I do this? No. Neither one of you should do this. And I gave them both specific reasons as to why. I gave her the reasons. She's a flighty motherfucker. She's not interested in, she talks about all these dreams, but she really just lives in the moment, which is great for her.
Right.
She's been places that I could dream. She's been into Europe. She's been to goddamn Cuba. We can't even go to Cuba
traveler.
right now. Yeah. And then she just enjoys,
Why you can't
herself.
go to Cuba?
Because Trump. Try now, nigga.
Yo, first of all, it be mad people on the gram in Cuba.
Because
I
they're
don't
unless
know,
these
man.
niggas lying,
I
They
don't
going-
know, man.
they're
You might be
going
going
under,
back to you might be going to Canada. You gotta like when you, how many months ago?
yo, I know
a year and a
for
half
fact
ago,
I seen
we
at
were
least
lit.
5 people in the
Motherfuckers,
last month
they-
that have Havana, Cuba, and some waters and man.
They repping for the embassy, my nigga, for real. Like, yo, it's like, all right, no, but the whole
Yeah.
point is that she had like clear aspirations that I knew that she wasn't gonna fulfill, at least not anytime soon. And Robbie really just gives a fuck about his clout. And that was gonna clash. It was
Bronx.
always gonna
She's
clash.
from the Bronx.
Yeah, absolutely. She's from the
Yeah,
fucking
she's
Bronx.
Look, you're gonna stop bashing the Bronx.
I'm
It's
not
gonna be-
bashing.
No, ain't
It's
no
gonna be click-
bash.
You just need
It's
the
gonna be-
geographical locations
It's
on
gonna be
these
click, clack,
situations.
bang, bang in this bitch. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. That wasn't helping. My
Bang,
fault.
bang.
He ain't talking about shooting the
Yo,
camera either.
Bronx shooters are probably the most agile criminals ever because they got
what?
hills and shit, so they got to shoot and run down
You
and
know
up
what?
them shits.
You ain't never allowed been at a house party and got shot at, and
Yeah.
thank God no one got hit. But it was because
'Cause you gotta run
someone
up a
was at
hill.
the top of the hill, and
So
someone
you got to
was
be
at the
like,
bottom of the hill.
damn, this nigga about to.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gone.
Shout out to all my Puerto Rican niggas on Fordham Road.
Uh,
Y'all niggas
shout-
is dangerous.
Shit! Shout out to all my niggas on 3rd Ave.
Shout out to them
One
niggas
for
on
fifth.
3rd. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where it
They
happened.
start doing this geography.
Bro,
shit.
I was-
nobody
I
I was
gives a fuck.
16.
Combat Jack show.
16, bro. 16 dubbing on the shorty, and the bullet went through the window. I was like, oh, so we're here now.
No one cares.
No one
this
cares.
is-
But it's because people from Brooklyn's been getting shot at since they was in kindergarten, so that's why they don't really.
Don't do that.
That is not
Don't
cool.
act like y'all ain't carry
'Cause
22s in your
my
lunchbox.
no, that's not that's fucked up because my first shootout, I was in kindergarten.
Your
I
first
remember
shootout?
that- I remember. No, I wasn't. All right, clearly it wasn't my first shootout, but
You
niggas
held the
started-
gun.
Niggas started shooting, and I remember that. Never mind. The point is that none of this shit. Like, this is when you know that you have really moved on because you start regretting that emphasis or that investment that you had made into the relationship, that emphasis that you've made for it, and you start appreciating the things that you've learned. I learned a lot about myself. Rob, like, is legendary, like the type of nigga I was before my relationship, but I wasn't proud of that nigga. Like, I was if you call like a relationship with a woman a car, like, I was good for crashing that shit, walking out, dusting myself off, and doing it all over again. I got into this relationship and I realized that, and just like you, I'm a better man in a relationship. But I have to choose what kind of relationship I'm going to commit to more in
Isn't
in
it
the
tricky?
future.
Isn't it tricky now though? Like when you interact with women, it's primarily all about vibes, right? And if you catch a good vibe, in most cases, that's the precursor to, all right, this is past shooting a shot. I might be on to something. And then once you get to that point, you're still at gray area because you're just like, I don't know though. Like,
I think
I don't know. Like, who is she?
I think I
And then
disagree.
you go through that process.
I disagree because time always offsets everything. Your vibes, your attraction, whatever. I was connecting with one chick that I was like, yo, I ain't pulling out of this one.
This nigga.
Like, I'm here for it. And that we had this one argument that, once upon a time I might have been willing to get over, say, yo, I'll do better, and then having those conversations with my family and really being honest and candid about what I'm going through. I realized, like, no, I'm about to compromise who I am again. So I gotta pull back. Like, in your gut, in your heart, when this is a bad situation. And I think that goes for men and women.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Follow your fucking gut early. And you
I
don't
think-
want to because you're some physical attraction or some vibe or some shit like that. That shit is gonna fade, and then you're gonna be fucking miserable looking at the next chick or ready to just fucking cheat.
Yeah, and I think you have to do it. I think with time comes experience. Guys and women alike, we see the signs and we refuse to abide by them. You see there's no more road left, but you continue to drive. Anyway, just because you're like, it may work out. When you know the signs are there, that's not really what you wanted. And I think it's like, you know,
Top 5 signs of top five red flags when it comes to new relationships.
Mr. Goodman.
When she hangs up on you.
That's one.
Don't fucking
yeah.
hang
I
up.
said 5.
That's a good one.
Time is something that's very important to me. If I tell you to be somewhere,
Wait, let's go back for 1 second.
Okay.
The hang up. At what point?
Yo, if you have a problem with something I said, or we're having just a disagreement, like we're debating some random shit, and you get so mad that you hang up on me, oh, you're a problem.
I got hung up on recently.
Oh, cut it.
It was no.
Cut it.
No.
Cut
I
it.
said it.
Cut it.
So like
Cut it.
it was like back in August. First time it happened
This
too.
bitch is way too mad. You need to cut it.
So yeah, back in August I got hung up on, right? Now I don't like that shit because I don't do anything that warrants that type of shit. You know?
that energy.
It was on FaceTime too. That was the bonus. She was PMSing, and we was having a little mini debate about nothing. And I don't even know. I don't know what I said. It wasn't nothing crazy, I don't think. And all I know, I saw the nail. And I said, oh, shit. She hung up. And I thought it was so funny because that hadn't happened in such a long time, like in general.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I got a kick out of that shit. But on the flip side of that kick, I said, no, this can't be happening because I'm not going through that again.
Yeah, you're not gonna be hanging
Because
up.
there's nothing that I'm saying that warrants that type of energy. So you know what I did? I didn't say anything. I didn't call. I didn't text. I let her be for the moment. And then like a few days later, about 2 or 3 days later, she texts me. But she texts me looking for a response to something that she asked me about something that I might have did, but I didn't. But it was some made up shit that she made. Allegedly, she made it up. In case she hears this episode, and I was like, "Yo, is she trying to? This her way of recommunicating with me? You know what I mean?" So I answered her question. I didn't say no more because I knew where it was going, and then I think she picked up like, "Damn, he got me," and then she apologized. She opened that door, said, "Yo, I was having a bad day, and it was really nothing. It was just I was PMSing and." It was early in the morning and boom, you know what I mean? But yet and still, that was a problem for me at the time. I'm like, damn, I don't want to do that shit. The hang-ups, the fucking, one of the red flags for me, not with this particular individual I'm referring to, but in general is the screaming and yelling. You know, not being able to control your emotions and tempers when you're having a conversation.
That's my red flag.
Like, if we have an issue and if there's a problem, if you're with me, if I'm your king and you my queen, we can talk about it. Have an adult conversation and have some type of resolution. But oh, you fucking that bitch. Nigga, I don't have the bandwidth for that shit. Today's episode of the Combat Jack Show is brought to you by Sonos. I recently received my Sonos system, and I immediately hooked it up in the living room, in my bedroom, and I was bumping that new Saha the Prince album. The sound is crazy. Quality is crystal clear. You know, I'm thoroughly pleased with my Sonos system. Sonos lets you have pulse-pounding sound in any or every room at once. That's right. You can play a different song in the living room, bedroom, even bathroom, or the same track in every room. Add your existing music services or discover something new, whether curated, on-demand, free, or subscription-based. Sonos has you covered with access to a growing list of music services. Plus, Sonos' simple app lets you control everything from songs to volumes to rooms all in one place. And right now, Sonos is offering the listeners of the Combat Jack Show 10% off for one order of $2,500 or less for any product on Sonos.com. This offer is available for a limited time only and cannot be combined with other discounts or promotions. Use the promo code JACK10, that's capital JACK10 at Sonos.com bevel.com to receive this limited time offer. Thanks again to Bevel for supporting this week's podcast. Bevel is a dermatologist-approved shaving system specifically designed for people with coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin. It's tested and proven to reduce and prevent razor bumps, discoloration, and irritation. Your Bevel kit comes with everything you need to get started. The Bevel razor, badger brush, priming oil, shave cream, a cooling restorative balm, and enough blades to keep your skin smooth until your next kit arrives. 9 out of 10 customers continue to come back to Bevel because they see the results. A clean shave that leaves your skin smooth and reduces razor bumps and irritation. Go to getbevel.com/Jack today to check out the full line of Bevel products and support this podcast. That's GETBEVEL.com/Jack. Start shaving smarter today with Bevel. And now back to the show.
Bandwidth. That's a real word.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's actually a Combat Jack word because I've heard that said multiple times on this podcast. Bandwidth, like that's a word that you got.
That's a very corporate
and I
word.
appreciate you, brothers, for saying that you listen to the show because a lot of people that we see in the culture, they see the popularity of whatever it is that's going on, and
Oh no, not at all.
and
Mind if I
they
rant for a
want to
little bit?
stand next to it, but they don't listen to the show.
Nigga, I was practicing.
They don't listen to the fucking show.
You mind
For
if I
this
rant
moment.
about that a little bit? You know, it's a few podcasters around here, namely New York City, and you guys up and coming. And I'm not targeting nobody specifically, but for the most part, some people I've worked with and probably want to work with at some point. Not really. They really don't listen to any fucking podcast. Like niggas really be on that. I don't listen to nobody's podcast because
what?
I don't want to pick up any habits or I don't want to. No, it's because you really don't fuck with podcasting and you only in podcasting
Because
for the benefits. So you want to be standing next to Combat. You want to stand next to A-King. You want to stand next to Mena. You want to stand next to Tax. You want to be at the LSM Christmas party. You want to be all up in the videos, dancing like Diddy. But you know what I'm saying? You can't dance. You ain't got no ass and you live on the corner of a motherfucking. I'm not going to, I'm going to stop.
You're gonna name some Brooklyn streets.
I was gonna name some Bronx shit.
Queens, Bronx.
I ain't got no issues with anybody in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn for like a year.
Yeah, watch yourself.
Well, you know
I
what
lived
it
in
is?
Brooklyn.
You know what it is? I feel like those because me and Sauce had this conversation multiple times. What it is a lot of people start podcasts as vanity projects. They don't
Really,
start.
yeah, look at you. This nigga's gonna steal. He gonna steal my. No, I'm sorry because I've had this conversation with him, and he gonna take my whole shit. Go ahead, go ahead.
So they're serving their ego.
They're serving their ego, whereas
Because of what?
because
The shit they see
because they see everyone else do it. And they
on
feel like
social media.
yeah. So for us,
Nobody was drinking Douce.
nobody was
Nobody was drinking
Douce been out since 2012.
Yeah.
facts.
I remember we had a PNC radio when I was doing that shit. One of our last holiday parties. We had just renovated the space. And the Combat Jack show was in another space. And we had interviewed Memphis Bleak.
Okay.
One of his business partners had put us on the Douce. Actually, they came in with the shit. They was like, yo, it's new joint. Oh, word. It's like, yeah, it's Jay, new shit. All right, cool. So his business partner was like, yo, we connected, and he gave me his info. He was like, yo, whenever you need some product, just let us know. Boom, boom, boom.
Do you still have to connect?
Of course. And that network is different. But that same winter, we had a holiday party because we had a loft studio space. And sure enough, we reached out. We went to the Rockaway office because at the time it was transitioning. It was 2012, so it was transitioning from Rockaway to the company to the music stuff. So we went there, we picked up the boxes, brought them to the spot, and I remember I had pictures of that shit too. It was all on the table and all over the place, and we had mad bottles left. We was like giving them away type shit. Nobody was fucking with Douce. A young brother from East New York said, I'm going to go against the grain and talk about, and instead of the Henny, we're going to switch it up because Hove is Hove. And
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was a whole 4 years, nobody was drinking that shit like that. This brother, because of his social media presence and his niche, niggas start drinking fucking Douce.
Everybody
now you can't tell a nigga he can't drink Douce. Now niggas act like they've been drinking Douce for 60 years.
Yo, how many?
And there's nothing wrong with that because when you influence people, that's the mission.
Yeah.
However, You know when niggas is overboard with this shit.
Yeah.
Because
You
I
know.
feel like niggas drink Douce now when they feel like they want to be upper echelons black and show like, yeah, you know, I'm of a different clout. I don't drink Henny, I drink Douce, you know. I'm just like, yo,
Nigga.
come on. Stop.
Nigga, you drinking brown liquor. Shut the fuck up.
That's it.
That's all you doing.
Yeah.
Like you drinking swamp water, nigga.
That's
That's
it.
all you doing to us.
Wait,
I
that's
don't
it.
give a fuck what the logo is.
But hey, that do
From-
say though.
Yeah,
That
for
Douce is
me,
calm as fuck.
woo,
Oh yeah. Shout out to
For
Douce.
yo.
Yeah, shout out to Douce.
Shout out to Rel, Bleak, and
Yes.
Yeah.
BS Rob.
All right, see, look at the shout outs.
Hey, why don't you pick up those
That's
names
the
you
Douce
dropped right
podcast.
there?
Shout out to Douce Fridays.
That's
Hey,
the
you
Do Say
know,
Friday podcast. I mean,
No,
I
I'm
work
just
with them, so I
saying-
gotta shout them out.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
I
saying.
think you dropped
like,
some names over there. AK, you may want to pick those up. Yeah.
I'm just
What's up, real
saying.
quick?
For me, like yo, I'm gonna support Hov. Like that's just regular. Like so, Hov. I remember when Hov the announcement came that he was investing in Douce and whatnot. And yeah, I definitely had a bottle would just sit on my fucking bar of sorts.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to Henny-Palooza. Okay, so like the idea that what wine or spirit you're drinking determines what kind of clout you have in 2017. Like niggas can search your name on Twitter and see right fucking through you.
Yep.
Shout out to the certain brother from East Flatbush, but he was just investing his time, attention, and I guess his taste buds into what he fucked with. So instead of following that,
Who's this?
No, he meant who you meant. He said
Who you
East
were talking
Flatbush, but
about?
we was talking about tax.
yeah, we're talking
He's
about
not from East Flatbush.
Yeah, he made a mistake and said East Flatbush.
I said East Flatbush, I meant East New York. my
How
bad.
disrespectful.
It's the
I am
Jameson. It's the
fucked
Jameson.
up.
It's the Jameson.
You know what? No.
When you
'Cause I
say
know
East
niggas-
Flatbush, I thought you were
I
like,
knew
yo,
niggas
it's
in
some
East
yardie
Flatbush.
nigga he talking about?
Oh.
No, yeah. I was like, wait, don't shoot me. And y'all joking. Y'all think I'm joking. I ain't. Anyway, no, but shout out to East New York, and he made that investment for himself, and that's what I was always raised on. Is like if you're doing something for yourself, and if people follow your brand, people follow what you're doing, that's great. But the idea of following a trend, I'm not going to do that unless I want to.
I think that's where it comes from. Like with us, even before me, Bones, and Saul, and Randy even came together, we were individually listening to podcasts. I started listening to Combat Jack, I want to say 2014. This had to be around the time of the Dame Dash episode.
Yeah.
And I remember my man's put me on. We was in the stock room, early days. I was working at a sneaker store, and he was like, yo, I need you to listen to this. So I'm like, all right. And I listened, and I was like, yo, this is incredible. Because at the time for me, and I still stand by this, the Combat Jack show stands as a pillar of conversation that you get between real people from not only their artistry, but what they do to push the culture forward. So to get on this platform, for me and Saul, is an honor in and of itself. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand
A
that.
lot of podcasts are going to be mad at you, too.
Oh, yeah.
Come
Like,
see me.
Come
Hey,
see me.
that's
Bring
right.
that
Come see me.
smoke.
Yeah,
Bring
yeah,
that
yeah.
energy.
Keep that same energy. You know what I mean? Some hair.
Yeah.
The hands are moving. I'm
No,
here.
wait,
I'm comfortable.
first of all,
Yeah, nigga,
No,
you
this
straight.
nigga is, hey, look.
Yeah.
This nigga Rob, again,
Yeah,
is
we
talking
mad
that
red
shit.
in this
But I'm
room.
about this. Like
So
bring that smoke.
for
Y'all
me,
keep
I
the
think
blicky with y'all.
you
Keep
know,
the blicky with y'all.
allegedly.
I thought you was part of the
I
Nation
don't
of
know nothing
Islam.
about that shit.
I'm not a part of it. I just anyway. So yeah.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
go on, man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
You
no.
can't be
I'm
down
just.
with the fruits of Islam now.
I'm
talking
not,
that
shout
reckless
out, Shout out
shit.
to Brother Khalil. Brother
Yeah,
Khalil.
brother
please don't-
Khalil gonna have you on.
I still want to have my meeting with Farrakhan. I hope this does not hinder
Nah,
that at all.
I'll take you to Chirac.
Oh shit! I'll take that too. Shout
I'm
out to
just
Chief Keef.
for me, like yo, I remember when y'all were on like internet radio. When internet radio was a thing. When at EVR, dog, East Village Radio.
We
dog.
wasn't down with that.
Y'all went at East. Where were
Elliot,
y'all-
Elliot was doing that.
But so where were y'all doing
PNC
that?
Radio and Dumbo.
Yep.
PNC Radio. Okay,
Yeah.
I fucked up.
Now East
But-
Village was dope. It was a dope concept. That street shit.
But it was about
But
the
that
internet.
was but it was all in the
radio.
same space. Yeah.
And-
in terms of the culture.
And it was really about just listening to people who just invested in the culture as much as I did.
Right.
And that was really important to me because, I ain't a rapper. You can have rapper friends, and you might think that you might like put up in a fucking cipher, but you're not doing this shit professionally. But for you to just really invest in the culture and really do your due diligence on what's going on. I know I fucked up with the East Flatbush shit and the EVR, but
That shit's fucking with you.
These comments gonna be crazy.
dog, I don't give a fuck.
No, I'm just asking you.
Lion of Bed-Stuy.
You talk-
At Lion of Bed-Stuy. But I was saying that it was really inspirational to see
A Bronx nigga get manicured, but go ahead. We're going to talk about that next.
he
Continue.
buffs his shit. He buffs it. Wait, unless that
We can talk about
he
that.
buffs his
Got
shit.
the
But it
case.
was
I'm like,
really,
what's all that shiny shit?
and we
I saw the
gotta-
glare. I'm like, what?
and keep in mind, we still gonna get back to this top 5 things that are red flags. 'Cause I don't want to get away from that.
Of course
either.
not. Of course not.
But it was just really inspirational to see you succeed and go into complex media network and not be able to say nigga for like a year. That was I was like
Okay,
I hope I
so-
can sell out one day like this.
Wow.
Yo.
So
I ain't gonna hold you.
so you set the tone to say that?
Yeah.
Yo.
That we
I
sold
know,
out?
I know I took a couple
on,
of L's,
so-
but I bounced back.
Hold up.
Yeah, that was
So
crazy.
wait.
crazy.
Skirt.
That was crazy.
So you saying that the Combat Jack show sold out?
I'm saying
It was
that
a little
you
disheartening.
I'm saying that
So all right,
you
hold
let
on. Let me give people
somebody
who
tell
don't
you
know.
not
people-
tell you couldn't use the N word.
Okay. So
Ain't it funny
and-
how
and
white
you know
people
what's
tell
crazy?
you can't use the N word because it offends them, but they the ones who use it to offend us? I always found that very interesting.
Well, that's
where
that's
you
not-
go to
no.
job spaces and people.
So, I know.
But I'm just saying in general for me.
So I
that's how I feel about it.
Well,
I,
here's
I
the
don't
thing.
I don't
with you.
use it in
I'm
a
with you.
negative connotation. You secured the bag.
Wait. Let me give you. Internet. For those who don't know, for the new listeners that have no clue what these niggas are talking about. Once upon a time, the Combat Jack show was the flagship show for Complex Media. This is around 2013, 14-ish.
13?
We did one season with them. I think at the time it was the Combat Jack show. It was also shout out to DJ Clark Kent. He had a sneaker show. Peter Rosenberg had a show. Desus and Mero had their show. And I know I'm forgetting one or two people. But anyway, they were doing a lot of stuff they're doing now they were trying to do then. They probably was a little ahead of their time with it in terms of the
Definitely.
process, but it was great. It was a great opportunity, and it was the next look for us, you know what I mean, as a unit. So we did the season with them, which was all visual. Now with that, you got to play by the rules. It was never something that they said, oh, you can't say certain shit, because they would bleep it out, even if it was said, because, we didn't tell, Waka Flocka or French Montana or whomever came on the show, yo, don't say these words or whatever. It was just, they'll bleep it out because it's visual. It's like now podcast is so niche, but now this is visual. People links to the videos everywhere. There's kids that's gonna see it, hear it,
Man, fucking kids.
in all parts of this, So you gotta be respectful of that. That's even with TV programming. Kids can't. That's why ratings exist. But you can't put a rating on a fucking on web content. But you do have the responsibility to bleep the shit out. So that's what. So they didn't censor us. They didn't say we couldn't do what we do because we did it.
Facts.
It's just that
I remember
caught the
distinctly
bloop.
saying that we can't we N words here. I was like, secure that. I didn't know at the time that they were securing the bag, but they were securing the bag. I ain't mad.
Yeah,
They were securing the bag before we
I
And
don't
I
wanna
don't
turned
give
for
a
it.
fuck about these kids. I remember
you gotta understand, too,
vividly
prior to that-
on Xbox playing Halo, being called a nigger regularly by somebody's 13-year-old white.
Look, 2 years prior to that, 2 to 3 years prior to that, we wasn't making no money. So when Complex come knocking,
Hey,
Secure the
what we got to do?
secure the bag.
you heard
And we made it work.
you heard the money machine count. She was like, yeah, but for us, for me, it started with the Dame Dash episode.
Yes.
my favorite episode, and people may
Los
find
Jets.
find this crazy. My favorite episode of Combat Jack is the Chuck D episode, and it was 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And I was invested.
Yo.
Well, it was 3 hours that came out. It was
Yeah.
actually 5 hours recorded,
Yeah,
and we recorded at midnight on a Saturday. It was the day that. It was a Saturday that Jay Electronica bought out Hove at the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival.
Oh, he didn't bring out an album. Just brought out.
That wasn't.
I don't
No.
I don't talk bad about Jay Electronica.
Whoa, that wasn't Jay
That's one of my-
Electronica's show. Was it Jay?
No, he was the headliner. It was that night because
That was 2000
because
that must have
because we
been like
recorded on a
2013,
Saturday. We never
2014.
record on Saturdays, and the only reason why we did it because Chuck, that was the schedule. That was the only time, and it was after he did a speech at a mosque for the Nation of Islam out in Harlem. He was doing that primarily for the
Mecca.
whole
Shout out
day.
to Mecca.
So like we just did midnight. We just locked in, got to the studio at midnight. It was crazy. It was probably like you said, one of the best
For me,
episodes.
I think because I took so many gems from that episode. I remember Chuck D saying, "Don't look at how much money I make. Look how much money I spend." And I was just like,
Jesus.
and it's crazy because I have a note, like in the notes app in my phone. I have notes full of quotes that I've gotten from the Combat Jack show and guests. Like a note full
That's dope.
of just
A real supporter.
of every episode, like little pieces, bits and pieces from things that I've heard. Like I remember when you had the return of Dame Dash, and Dame was like, "You don't have to be nice when you got good work," and I was just like, like it was just certain. There was, but at the time in content,
it made sense.
it made sense at the time. Like there was just certain pieces that like really. Those are the moments that gravitated me to the Combat Jack show because for me, I'm more of an audio learner. You know what I mean? Like I like to, even with books, I like to listen to audio books. So like when an artist would create an album or create content, you could rely on Combat Jack and the Combat Jack show to give that insight on the artist's development of that project.
Right.
Where you would go to other places, to more terrestrial radio, you wouldn't have that conversation. They would want to know who you sleeping with, who you talking to,
Right.
What's going on in your social media. For me, I was more invested in the project. That was always something that was near and dear to me. I remember getting Vibe magazines as a kid, and really reading those reviews. In a sense, and like I said, I was more of an audio listener, but music-wise, that was very big to me. Combat Jack did that. So when we started our podcast, I think we kind of had the same expectation. It's crazy because I met Combat, Premium Pete, and A King at a Meet the Podcasters event years ago.
Apple.
And I was just like, yo, I want to start a podcast. And Combat was like, yo, if you want to do that shit, yo, do that shit. And I was just like, yeah, all right, I
Man,
guess.
Combat will big the shit up out of you, and then forget. Nah, I'm just
But and then it's crazy because we run back into Combat. Then as a group, we're starting to hang out more. We run into Combat at Henny Palooza at Webster Hall, and we was in VIP, and we were all smacked. And we was
Regular.
like regular, and we're talking to Combat. You know how Combat talk when he's in the
Yo,
when he's here, he's here.
Yo, you had the conversation with him, but
Yeah.
I got Combat on a real like socio-political, like Afrocentric vibe. Me and I'm pretty I know that neither one of us can say what we were talking about, but we were definitely screaming at each other, celebrating hip hop for like maybe a straight 10 minutes.
Yeah,
10,
so-
15 minutes.
Man, I know that was a riot.
Like they were just people were just looking. They were definitely just looking at us. And, I walk away, and I'm sure, like, Combat walk away, and they're like, what just happened? And I'm like, I don't know.
Niggas is drunk.
Let's drink.
Facts. And I remember he's like, yo, I like you guys. I like this. The three of you guys, this will work. And we were just like, yo, this may be it. So he definitely put the battery in our backs, like, yo, go do that shit.
That's dope.
And when we started like really developing episodes and coming up with content and coming up with like themes and things like that. All those things came from listening to Combat. All of that came from that. Like, we always kept it in mind that it wasn't about us. It was always about the listener's perspective. And I think a lot of
Always.
podcasts don't do that. They look at it, because they're looking at it from a vanity standpoint, they're more focused on how they look instead of what the listeners are listening to. We always keep the listeners in mind because they're the ones who are investing in your product and your brand. So for us, the listeners was always something that kept us going. I want to tie back that top 5 thing that you were mentioning, though.
Top five. Top 5 red flags
Yeah.
when in relationships.
I would say for me, it's time. I'm very big on time. If I tell you somewhere,
Punctuality.
punctuality.
Okay.
Yeah, if I tell you to be somewhere and this is where we need to be at a certain time and you're not there, that automatically tells me that you don't respect me. You don't respect our relationship or whatever we're doing.
And
So
what the fuck are you doing that you coming up late?
Facts. So if I tell you the movie start at 4:00,
Nigga.
don't show up at 4:15.
That's disrespectful.
That's disrespectful. Like, I shouldn't.
Asking what happened in the first 10
Yeah,
minutes.
and then
of
you
the
and then
movie.
you tell me like, oh, it's not that big of a deal because I only missed the
'Cause they
beginning.
fucked up.
And I'm like, nah. If I told you to do a book report, you couldn't give me the beginning of the movie because you missed it. So yeah, like being on time is something
you
very.
extra chicks to do book reports.
I mean, it was a good example at the time.
Okay.
Just like any woman that I deal with, they know that my time is precious because I don't, working, being millennial, whatever the case may be, and then working on our podcast and our brand and our content. For me, if I'm taking time out to be with you, the least you could do is be on time. Because I could have been somewhere else, just like you could have been somewhere else. But you chose to spend your time with me, so just be on time. That's all. I think that's fair.
No, I actually know a brother, a young man. I'm much closer to and he's a groom. He's married now. I was much closer to the groom than I am to the bride. The bride was late to her own wedding, and he was furious.
Of course.
And like the
Well, he
entire
waited his whole life.
and his
So,
entire
yeah.
family.
Damn. And usually the
just-
woman, the bride is the one that's super early, super on task.
And like
The dude is never late, but he doesn't have to do what she has to do.
Well, cold feet. He's still weighing it out. He has a suit
Wow.
on, but he's just trying to figure out like this.
But
is
you
what I
know,
really wanna do.
you don't. As a man, you don't show up. The time you show up at a wedding, you need to be there.
Oh,
the
yeah,
time
that's
you
right.
agreed to be there, that's what time you got to be there.
Facts.
You can't be nothing late, because now you starting off on the wrong foot.
Oh yeah.
wow, the bride had scheduled everybody to be there like an hour and a half early because black people are always late, and she was a half hour late.
Right.
And he was furious. And the family was looking at him like, this right here is what you're marrying.
Damn.
So you deal with it or you don't.
Yeah,
And
but
we'll ride
too
with
late
you,
now.
and we'll ride with you regardless.
They married, right?
But they married.
They good? How many years?
What time is it? 3 months. We'll see
Oh,
what's
shit.
good.
I thought you were going to say 3 years.
No, we'll see what's good.
Yeah, I
Time-
mean the
time-
first year is I hear is the hardest year.
Time. That's supposed to be the honeymoon phase. Time tells all.
Not in our generation because we live in such a fast society that we get over things so fast. So the first year now is the hardest year because you have to consistently be interested.
Would y'all say that another like warning sign is how a significant other, man or female, man or woman, excuse me, that how they carry themselves on the internet? Like, you know how you used to say, like,
yes. You know
if
why?
you find
that's
her...
part of that has become part of a routine now, a daily thing. Like, it's part of your life for those who make it that. And 9 times out of 10, they're on social media. 9 times out of 10, if I'm dating somebody, I don't want to look at their social media because I know I don't want to have to mistakenly see some shit that I'm not gonna, because you're gonna see shit you're not gonna like because it's social media.
Yep.
But if it's somebody you're invested in, and you see it, it's the here we go again factor. It's like, oh, I gotta have that conversation. Then you're the bad cop. Well, why are you on my social media then? Well, why are you doing that shit, whatever it is that I don't like? But then again, just because I don't like it don't mean it's wrong either. And that's where the gray area is at too, right?
Yeah.
Because whatever it is, Instagram has become, social media has become self-serving. People go on that shit for attention.
Yep.
And because of that, that's where there's a lot of disconnect. And I don't see, I don't know what the statistics are, but I would imagine that there are a lot of short-term relationships because of social media. There's a lot of relationships that end earlier because of social media. How many times have you heard stories? A brother sees some shit on the gram. His homie sees some shit. He may not have seen it. Yo, fam, you and her good? Why you ask me that shit? You know how niggas, why you ask me that? Yo, I saw her post some, I don't know, I don't even want to be but it look a little different. You're like, what? And then they either show you or you look for yourself, and then it lines up. It's like, damn, yo. Then you have the uncomfortable conversation, and then you become the fucking predator. Like, yo, why you on my shit? Urgh.
And it'd be that same homeboy who had her pussy on his tongue like 3 days before that.
And then you fight. Like, damn, do I want to lose? Do I want to lose?
I got real fast.
Right.
Bro,
Do I want to?
you're making us look crazy in the Bronx, bro. Chill.
That's the Bronx thing.
I'm sorry, my bad. But his girl couldn't.
Fucking East Tremont ass niggas.
Nah,
So,
hey, this is Soundview over here. I don't do no treatment.
I'm from uptown.
Story Ave niggas. So
Shout out to Story Ave.
it's like, how do you, like, that's part of your shit now. That's part of the lifeline is dealing with the possibilities of having to have a conversation about something you see on social media.
Well, my rule of thumb is if you take 3 pics and they're gonna go to Instagram, at least send me 2 of them and then post 1. So like
That's all I ask for.
That's all I ask. Like, don't send me the picture that you sent on Instagram. And we've had and for us when we've talked about it, you look at a woman's Instagram or you look at someone's Instagram to see what they want to show you. You look at someone's Twitter to see how they think.
The character tells you
Because the
about
character comes out in Twitter. That's where it's really at. Like, and this is a rule of thumb. If you want to date her or you want to date him, if they got 10,000 followers on Instagram, but they only got 1,800 followers on Twitter, you know what you're dealing with. You know what you're dealing with.
You know what's funny? Speaking of which, I gotta address some shit that I just remembered that I saw on Instagram. That I just need to clarify something that I saw that I didn't bring up. And that was the whole thing. Like, I didn't want to see what I saw, and I saw it, and I'm like, now I gotta ask her about this because I kind of know what that was, but I need to be certain.
Of course.
Because if it wasn't, then
Because
it needs to be up on the board. Like, yo, let's talk.
Because social media puts an expiration date on your relationship.
Hell yeah.
I really believe
Hell
believe
yeah.
this. And the reason why I say that is because the moment nobody wants you until you're unavailable. And everyone's waiting to see the car crash. So everyone's watching the man crush Monday, the women crush Wednesday.
So
They're watching all your kissy faces and all this shit you do, when you're creeping on him while he's not doing anything, or you're creeping on her when she's doing the dishes and you're putting it in an Insta story. Everybody's looking at that,
How come
but they're waiting for when it doesn't happen.
Nobody
counted that.
Nobody takes shits on Twitter no more. Remember they used to do that?
I do it every day. Huh, nothing.
Yeah, they used to post pictures of y'all taking a shit. That's early Twitter. That was like
early.
That was like
This
09 Twitter.
08.
I don't know.
Shit.
I think Wayne started that shit.
No,
like,
God.
Little Wayne started that shit.
Yo, I'm taking a shit, man. And then people stop. They're like, all right, this is getting out of control.
That's how you
I
get
will
pink
say-
eye, dirty nigga. You on the toilet fucking
All right,
twiddling
I
your
will
thumbs?
say, and this is weird.
Yo.
I bragged that I've never gotten pink eye, and I've never gotten pink eye.
not
And
gonna-
like,
Yeah.
there was a certain person,
That's me, I was like,
of a certain race. It was like, really? And I was like,
I'm gonna take a shit on Insta story.
Never. And the whole point
Tonight.
to get back, it was like,
Okay.
look, the way,
You wanna get
like,
pink eye?
there are
24
always going to be
hours.
people that are willing to, they're going to pray for your downfall.
Yes.
I son, when because we had broken up, but then there was this kind of like space where we weren't clearly talking about it. And the moment that I was making it very clear that I am single, like a lot of women had been waiting 3 years, because it was damn near 3 years I was in this relationship, to make it very apparent that they were interested in me, and I had no idea. For me, is if you, and this is like, you know that old saying that if you find them in the like the club or something like that, don't be mad when you
lose them there.
when you lose them there, or they're always there. And so, like, if they are invested in social media, in their presence, in like how they carry themselves on social media, then you need to be comfortable with that if you want to take it a step further. And that was a learning lesson for me. But also, I'm not, like, I care about social media, and on some levels I share what I go through personally, but on another level, like, I keep some things very private. So
right, as you should.
I am not going to not be like, I have an image on social media, so I'm not going to be ashamed. I'm not going to hide. I just wouldn't hide my relationship. But in the same vein, and maybe I won't talk about everything, but I'm like, yo, if it ends, it ends. Like, ain't nobody come up in my mentions talking about, oh, it's over or nothing. Yeah. It happened. I was invested, and it's over. Like, I'm still not gonna worry about what some fucking strangers have to say about me. And if she's interested in what some strangers are going through, or she's interested in impressing some strangers, that's up to her. Yeah. But you gotta be comfortable with that too.
Yeah. All right, so let's continue. What was it? The top 5 red flags in a relationship. I think we had 3.
Yeah, we got
3 so far?
Yeah.
All right.
I would say 1 is you are the company you keep. And I would look at her friends. Her close friends. I don't.
They some messy ass.
Yeah, this is true. And I feel like I don't trust any woman who says, I don't have a lot of female friends.
That's an instant fucking red flag.
Why don't women understand that part? Oh, you ain't got nothing to worry about. That's just you, baby.
I don't have a lot of female friends because females be chatting.
But what if
what they chatting about?
They
What you got to hide?
They calling out the whole facts?
What you got to hide?
Because if the roles was reversed, and if a dude say, "Yo, I don't got a lot of dude friends," all my homies is women, then what? They wouldn't have that shit.
You either,
Hey, look,
you
man.
either a hoe or you in the closet. Something
Look,
up.
man, I follow by the rules of Dame Dash. You should always have more female friends than male friends. He's the one who he's
empowering women,
women, as well as guys are always going to be the ones that's going to be envious of you. So yeah, I keep more female friends than I do male friends. It is what it is. But if she's telling you she don't have any female friends that she confides to, her innermost darkest secrets and her thoughts, I'm questioning you.
Yeah, I hate the ones that dating somebody and her best friend is a fucking. She ain't never had a relationship, but she got all the advice in the world.
Yeah,
those are dangerous.
You also got to be careful with the one, like, just not even, just the single ones. Like, if you have a woman, and, I think that changed my mentality. I remember I was crazy, but I also was surrounded. My best friends were all single, so we were gonna go out, we were gonna hang out. They were gonna encourage me, to do whatever I want. Oh, this girl's interested in you, bag her. But as like he's really my best friend. He's married now. You start your whole mindset starts to change.
Yes.
Like the idea of slowing down, and not slowing down, but like settling down, and finding somebody that can make you better in that regard. And if you're in a relationship with a woman and she's just hanging out with her single friends, you can't say that like there's no kind of bug in her ear.
Oh, of course. Because if the classic line, if your friends if all your friends jump off of a bridge, are you gonna jump off the bridge too? Yeah. Like it
That shit gonna be fun.
yeah, like I think you have to look at it like that. Like, you know, if she's thinking about being, or he or she is thinking about being in a serious relationship, they're gonna want to be around people who are in serious relationships, so that can make that deciding factor, as for you too, of whether that's something you want to do.
Right.
When you're hanging around people that are single and they're making all these terrible decisions, or you know they're living their best life, as that's what we call it in 2017. You know, you then look like, you know, you look like the kid who's looking outside while everybody else is playing, and you in the house. You're like, yo, I want to live my best life too. Maybe being outside may be my best life. So maybe not being in this relationship would be my best life. So yeah, you want someone who's like-minded like you. You want someone who's actively having friends that are in relationships and are hanging out with those people, because then it keeps that stimulating that same energy. Yeah, absolutely.
And the last one?
If your nipples don't get perky at a certain hour, that we can't. Like, if your nipples don't get rock hard at that beloved hour.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm talking
There's
about
too many men in here. You talking about rock hard?
I know. My bad. Pause. My
Come
bad.
on,
My
man.
bad. Pause.
Yeah,
Shout out to
It
my
ain't
ex.
cold in here.
Shout out to my ex though. She has some nice nipples.
Your ex?
Yeah, my ex.
Man.
She has some real nice
Now,
nipples.
last one real quick.
The last one I would say is, if it would probably be wary of the ones that she sleep with that you know.
No. All right.
But-
All right. So I have a converse.
Nope.
If you have to wait around for her to text you back or call you back, that's a problem. Because if she's not as invested in you and your time, then all right. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same as
All right,
hanging
so
up.
is
That's the
that-
same as the hang up.
Not necessarily.
I would put that in the same category. I feel like, and we live in a social media space where everyone knows everyone, right? So you should not be surprised if someone that you're dealing with has potentially slept with, dated someone that you know.
No.
See,
And
I don't
but as
think-
adults,
all
my
I
question
think
to that
both of us-
is-
both of them
I'm
agree
not
with that.
trying to hear that shit, because
Yeah.
I feel you, but I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be
Go ahead,
acceptable.
yeah, it's
and
not.
that's nothing against her past. If she
No.
did it, fine. But I just subconsciously and consciously, I can't wake up and start my day and finish my day knowing that
Someone else.
lying in bed style might have slammed this chick down in bed. Nah, it's not gonna happen.
Nah,
If I
ain't
know
worried
that,
about it.
huh?
I ain't worried about it personally.
I'm not. It's not that. It's not. It's just not. It's just not. Nah, I don't want to. If you're the homie,
First of all, I'm not even worried about your body count. I'm one of those niggas that's not asking that.
Well,
question.
we're not talking about
And-
body
oh,
count.
no,
No, I'm not saying like I don't give a fuck about
no, but
your
you're gonna know,
past.
because you know what's gonna happen. She's gonna at some point understand the closeness because of what you said, the industry, and she's gonna say, "Yo, you know, I dated so and so." Oh, word. You're not gonna act as you know, you're a real dude. You ain't gonna ask no
Crazy
no questions,
questions.
but in your
your
heart
heart,
of hearts, you're gonna
when
be
you
like,
look in that mirror and you by yourself in that bathroom,
That's like
that's when it come out.
I'm dead ass.
yeah. It's
That's
like,
when you
I'm
start
not
questioning
moved.
yourself.
And then
All
every
right,
time,
that's
and then
just me
yo,
then.
and then every time you see the nigga on social media or whatever, you gonna have that thought like, damn, this nigga.
Especially if you know he the type of nigga that you are.
I'm
And you know what
honestly-
type of time you be on, and you know what type of time he be
Yo,
on.
I'm
check
not
this
gonna
out.
be moved. I'm not gonna be moved. I wasn't moved. So yeah, not talking about anybody's specific, past, but I'm beating it up now. Okay, so
I mean, if you got
that's
the
it.
rock, you got the rock.
Unless you-
If you
yeah.
playing ball, you playing
As
ball.
long
This
as
this
this
is my
rock-
game right now.
as long as this rock ain't got no forever shit attached to it, I'm gonna slam dunk that shit every fucking night. Period.
Yeah, I think as
That's just me though. That's just
when you
me.
get grown, you
Yeah.
kind of. I feel like when you get grown, you kind of get over that shit. But the reason why I said that's like one of those big things, because you judge how she or he handles that after it's over. See, because I'm very big on, after a relationship, we can be friends. Nah, I don't want to be friends. Like, I'm very big on that. Well, why do you want to be friends? I don't want to be friends with people that I've seen naked. Like, I don't feel like there's no. What do we need to discuss? We're prolonging the inevitable of me trying to sleep with you again. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Wrong. Agreed.
No, I'm having sex with friends now. I have
Exactly.
one.
But
I have
that's
another
case
one.
in point.
All right, so I don't know if this is a red flag because you have to kind of get to know somebody, but I feel like their relationship with their parents.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's
I feel like
Yeah.
you know what, that shit, that those mommy issues, those daddy issues were so like
Daddy
interesting and cute and even attractive when I was in those I was in my 20s. At this point, you need to get that shit figured out in fucking therapy and move the fuck on.
Yeah, rule of thumb: if a woman has issues with her father, it's gonna be a problem.
But
That's
just
mine. That's
parents
just mine.
in general.
In general,
because
yes,
if
but
y'all
more
not,
so-
if y'all can't discuss it, because if your parents don't love you unconditionally, or if you haven't reconciled that, because I had to deal with that in my own life, then there's going to be issues.
It's gonna be carryover, of course.
And I mean, I ruined many an issue in my past because of that.
Yeah.
And I fucking solved that shit in therapy.
Therapy.
Now I'm a better person for it. So that
Salutes.
shit is annoying.
Highly annoying.
but it's necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen,
Yes.
thank you for coming to the show.
Thank us. Thank you.
Thank you. motherfucker.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
been a
Internets, I
great
hope you guys
fucking
enjoyed
week.
it. It's a little change of pace. But this is what we do, man. We provide opportunity and conversations on the platform, man. That's how we started it, and that's how we're gonna continue to do it. We'll give you the guests. We'll give you, talk to the people, our heroes. That's all day. But sometimes we want to kick back and just have real man, real woman talk here. You know what I mean? Real quick before you guys jump out of here, top 5 podcasts you listen to.
Oh wow.
Just run through it real quick because we gotta
Okay,
go.
cool. I'm listening to Black Girl Podcast with Scotty Beam.
Mm.
I'm listening to Dear Black Girl Podcast with my homegirl Uni. I'm listening to the He-Man Woman Haters Club with Mouse Jones and Reek,
Right.
because that's home team.
Shout out to Mouse Jones.
I'm gonna keep it all the way to stack with you. I'm still listening to episodes of Tax Season.
For sure. Free Tax Stone.
Every Wednesday
My
I go
brother.
back.
Man.
Every Wednesday I go back.
There's real gems. in
Gems
those.
all day.
So what's that, like 4?
4.
And then I'm listening to Joe Budden's podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, I listen to Joe Budden podcast.
It's a must.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, I'm listening to Comeback Jack Show.
Thank you.
I'm listening to The Read. I wait for The Read, though. Like, I really appreciate what they're doing in podcasting and what they're doing for the culture. Shout out to Do Say Friday.
Yes.
That's my shit.
What up,
for
bro?
real. Also, the Brutally Honest podcast. It's a really short podcast, very topical. It's like 10 to 20 minutes. And wait, how many was that? That's 3? That's 4.
You got one more.
That's 4. And then Play Cousins
Dope.
on the Indie Creative Network.
Dope. Dope.
And they talk hip hop, but they also talk mental health. And special shout out to Lindsay India and Jameer Pond, because they're personal. I consider them personal friends of mine, and they really are willing to have those hard conversations with themselves.
That's dope. That's a good list. And on that note, brother Christopher, we know what he gonna say.
Why?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait,
What's
let
your
me-
top 5?
Well, first and foremost, the good brother Tax Stone, always in rotation. Bodega Boys. These is America. Represent for the dirty Bronx niggas out
What's
there.
up, ball bags?
Oh,
Yeah.
ball bags.
Facts.
Who else? I go back to the Dating, Relationships, and Love podcast hosted by Tanisha Wood. You guys check that out on SoundCloud, though. We having issues on iTunes, but on SoundCloud. Who else? What is that? 3?
Yeah.
Number 4, The Loopy Show. Still representing for my dirty Bronx niggas. Shout out to
shout out
Loopy.
to-
Love
the
them
Loopy.
uptown niggas.
The Loopy
Loopy
blogger.
blogger.
And Joe Budden.
Yeah.
Joe Budden.
Okay, sidebar. Insta comedian niggas.
Oh, you gonna get
Well, not niggas. Not
Get me
niggas, but
beat up.
I just had one
Gonna
question
get me
about
beat
a
up.
particular young lady.
Uh-oh. Shout out to What is it?
Yanira Panche.
Ah, shit, this nigga.
Is she in a relationship with the other nigga, Carrie? The nigga she be doing his skits with?
I don't keep up with the nigga.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You should look up
Internet.
IG.
I know who you're talking about. I've seen her in.
A King needs to know if Yanira.
Oh, look at that.
Yanira
Liked by
Panche.
Insta King. It's A King. Look at that.
So,
relax.
Yo, King, the question isn't whether they're in a relationship. The question is she happy?
Nah, I ain't really.
That's
nah.
Here we go with that dirty Mac shit.
I just want to know.
Oh shit.
I just want to know.
Come on, all right.
The real
come on.
question-
Yanira Panche is funny as shit.
Yeah,
If you hear this or if you know her,
Feel like she got that good skin.
she looks like she made
Nice,
grits
smooth.
and she put cheese in it. I'm not gonna like she make cheese grits. I'm not gonna
She
front.
A little bit of adobo in there.
She make Maduro.
Oh,
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
She
the real
Latina.
question is,
Latina.
how does them toes taste? That's the real question.
We don't know that, brother. But
What? You a
on that
free
note-
man? You a free
Oh
man?
shit! And on that note, we got in the show.
Salute. I do like pretty toes. I do like pretty toes.
Pretty
Let me massage him. Maybe get a little
Hey.
little kiss to the big one.
Yo, internets, it's been a pleasure and an honor. See y'all next week. Please tweet at us, rate, subscribe, and comment. As always, hit us up on that line, 347-746-2080. Hashtag combat cancer. Salute, OG.
You know what it is, man. Dream those dreams. And then man up, woman up, and live those dreams. Because a life without dreams is black and white. And the universe flows in technicolor surround sound.
Thanks again to Sonos for supporting this week's episode of the Combat Jack Show. Whether curated or on demand, free or subscription-based, Sonos has you covered with access to a growing list of music services in any room or every room at once. And now, for a limited time, Sonos is offering the listeners of our podcast 10% off of one order of $2,500 or less for any product on Sonos.com. Just use the promo code JACK10, that's capital JACK10 at Sonos.com to receive this limited time offer.